everybody. Welcome to the CarCast. I'm Adam Carolla. That's the professor.
Sandy Ganz.
Yeah, and we're on our way to where, Sandy?
We're heading up to Thermal, California to check out some new happenings up there. New racetrack being built.
There's a place called Thermal, California?
I'm looking it up on the map, and I'm thinking Thermal, that's probably the name of the company, but it's Thermal Motorsports. They're putting together a track clubhouse lifestyle.
One of those executive things where you keep your race car there. They have the whole track. It's the condo. It's basically what high-end golf condos are to the golfer. This is to the motorsport enthusiast.
Right. Considering that, again, California, the largest motorsports people called crazies in the world, why not have a track? There's a few tracks
out there in the Palm Desert, Palm Springs area.
Yeah, our trip today is going to be, we're going to jump on this
private jet
from Jet Suite, who's going to tote us out to Thermal. We're going to jump in, get this, hook this up with a Aston Martin Rapide.
That's the four-door.
Four-door,
Awesome.
So have not been in that. And then we're going to head up to...
You know what I smell?
Money?
A little Jet A, but mostly free cheese.
Free cheese and what?
Sounds like a free cheese trip to me, Ganz.
Here's what's even better. We're at a private airfield here in Van Nuys. Box cutter, bottle of wine, full tube of toothpaste in my luggage.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and
FAA.
Some super gay sunglasses.
What do you do with it?
All right, let's mount up, brother.
Let's go. I like this, the metric Coke.
All right, we'll go ahead. We'll go there shortly. If you need anything, just we're right there.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you. And there'll be no disabling, damaging, or something your smoke detector.
Damaging, disabling, or destroying the smoke detector.
Yeah, Emma, hi, good to meet you. Nice to see you. Hi, Adam. Hi, nice to meet you.
Well, now here we are in beautiful La Quinta in Palm Springs, or I guess we're in Palm Springs. Palm Desert.
Palm Desert, Palm something.
Palm something. This is the beautiful Emma
Gwyther.
That's what I said the first time. I got it
That's right.
How do I get one right?
Yes, and we're
Hold on a second, Adam. Clear that thing out of your tooth.
Oh, I got something like too?
Yeah,
we got a free salad.
You missed it. You missed it.
You know what? I got to say.
Keep rolling.
I got the beets with the goat cheese. I like the goat cheese. I know I usually do 20 minutes as the top of every show about how I feel about goats and their cheese.
And the cheese?
My feeling is if you can taste what animal this cheese came from, that's a bad sign. Like if someone went, hey, this is turkey cheese. I don't even know if you can milk a turkey.
All right, get that thing out of your...
Is it only two? Yes. You get it off then.
Look, man, I'm not sticking my finger in your mouth.
I can feel it. Emma, talk about your beautiful product here while I get this thing out of my tube.
Emma's turning red with horror on this.
Is that horror?
No,
it's charm.
So we are we're at the temporary home of Thermal Motorsports Track and Club.
Yes.
This time next year, we're going to be in a whole different, exciting, new, dynamic environment. So.
And the track and club concept, it's basically taking the golf club or the tennis club and bringing it to the gearheads, essentially. Why can't we have a nice place to hang out? Why can't we have a nice track? Why do we have to go to these horrible places with these horrible cinder block buildings and toothless guys eyeballing our kids while Daddy tries to turn a few hot laps and then stay at some cheap motel? This is basically...
Scary motel. It's always scary.
Yeah.
Next to a gas station.
This is basically taking the concept of a nice golf resort,
Absolutely.
except for guys who have Aston Martins and like to turn some hot laps, right?
Yeah, so Thermal is it's a members club, but with the area of interest being motorsports and racing rather than tennis or golf. But what we've tried to do here is create a motorsports lifestyle. So rather than having to give up on some of the luxury amenities that people would get in a traditional country club environment, we're bringing them all together. So this is why here right now we're on site at the La Quinta Resort and Club where we have our temporary sales office, and this is also going to be one of our future partners. So everybody visiting the track will get to benefit from luxury discounted accommodation at the hotel here, access to the spa and fine dining.
I love when you guys say spa. Do you realize the mockery of saying water and then saying spar? Do you understand what you're doing with our A's and our R's?
You haven't tried going through a drive-through and trying to order water. You know, it doesn't get me very far. So I'm practicing my best American accent.
But then here's your beloved A. You have your A. You're in love with your A, and then you turn spa into spar.
That's
Do you understand
the
what's
charming
going on?
aspect of the accent. I think you stick with
I had
it.
I had a Mexican barber. He told me he was going to trade in, talking about cars, he was going to trade in his Bobo for a Sav. I said, one or the other, buddy. You got it. It's either the B or the V. Come on now. You can't say one, but you can't say the other, but just in the wrong place. All right, I'm sorry. Tired of picking on you, Emma. I'm just trying to liven things up around here.
She's getting a lot of razzing today.
We're standing, by the way, in front of a track.
Let me step
Full
out the
scale,
way.
by the way. So a lot of tight corners on this baby. The track, I think Emma told me 19 different configurations.
That's right. It's 4.5 miles in totality. It's got 3 independent tracks that make up the 4.5-mile track, but it can be run in 19 different ways. So there's something to suit the vintage racer, the motorcyclist, the new Audi owner. So there's something for everybody, really, in the way in which the track's designed. Alan Wilson is our track designer, but we've had a lot of input and consultancy from people like Darren Law, who's an ambassador for our track. So real racers and drivers and people that appreciate what it's really going to be like when it's driven.
I like that gig, track ambassador.
It's like a golf course designer, but more fun because it's
I don't want to do any heavy lifting. I like the ambassador part where I have my sash.
ambassador.
My special parking spot, maybe a scepter I carry around, a little 30 weight in the top of it. So, and this sort of thing, there are examples of this on the East Coast.
Yes.
But there's not any examples of this on the West Coast. We were talking off there.
Nothing nice. Everything that is kind of privatized is, let's say it's in the middle of nowhere and nowhere that you want to be unless you're at the track, and that pretty much
Well, you have
kills the time, I would guess.
you have a fundamental problem, which is in order to put a facility like this somewhere, you need miles of earth acreage that's not going to cost that much that you can put this big track and facility at. And the only problem with that is it's usually in the middle of the desert somewhere, and this happens to be the middle of the desert, except for somebody got here 60 years before you guys
Planted
did,
some palm
and built
trees.
a bunch of crap and put a bunch of sod down, and so now you kind of have the best of both worlds. You have the acreage, you have the
Absolutely.
space, but then you and the family can go down the street to the spar. The
Spa.
wife can hang out at the spar.
We can go to the racetrack. Your golf buddies can go PGA West and hit some balls and
Yeah. And if you're a pugilist, you can get in the ring and maybe do a little spying.
spine.
All right, Adam. Yeah.
Emmett's not getting
What
any
would
better
you
here.
call spas?
Sparring.
No,
You
but
can't say it
hey,
either.
you know, you're exactly right. I mean, a project of this size does not, and scale does not just happen overnight. And I don't really think there's anything like this in the world right now. So we have a couple of examples. You know, in the US we have Chicago Autobahn, Monticello, but I mean, in
It
terms
seems
of
snowy cold over there.
it is. I
Yeah.
mean, this track's really going to come into its own when the other tracks, you know, have to be closed simply due to, you know, bad weather conditions. So, you know, our facility is going to be open 365 days a year. We got over the noise angle because we're almost directly adjacent to a private airport. The land that we're building it on was already zoned for heavy industrial use, so I'm sure they weren't thinking a racetrack at the time, but
Now dumping nuclear waste there, you're ahead of the game.
I think we are.
We flew in from Van Nuys Airport into whatever airport's
Thermal
right next
air-
here.
It's the Jacqueline Cochran Regional Airport. That's how it's known in the town.
I think
of
that's
She
Thelma.
was
gonna
one
be-
of Charlie's Angels, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think that's the first thing you'll be changing is the name of the airport to the Thermal Motorsports something.
I think it will become more known for thermal, we're hoping, yeah. further
It'll
down
be
the
one
line.
of these things where they try to do that every once in a while. Like they try to take the Burbank Airport and call it the Bob Hope
Bob Hope
Airport, but no one will bite on it. Every once in a while, they try to do that with a stretch of freeway. This is Officer John Johansson's Memorial Stretch. Everyone just calls it the 111, 117. No one ever bites
Well, we're
on
hoping
it.
it's going to be better known for being a sweet spot.
the sweet
Sweet
spot.
spot.
Sweet
kinda
spot
like
for Jet Suite, you know?
Well,
Right.
by the way, we should throw that out there. The ride over here out of Van Nuys, 45 minutes from door to door, just about. The guys just said it would have been 25. We'd have to go through some crazy flight path to dig through LA's airspace and stuff like that. But Awesome. Got to thank the Jet Suite guys for that.
Yeah. If we didn't strafe
And the beer.
If we didn't strafe the Playboy Mansion, the guy said we could have done it in under
No, we
40.
sent that guy a
but I
couple bucks.
insisted.
The pilots over there, they play ball too. They'll take you anywhere, throw a couple of bucks under the table.
Yeah.
Nice run.
The breakdown is this. You have the track, and then you have this sort of state-of-the-art facility. And like I said, the good news is you don't have weather issues. And the other issue is you're not out in the middle of nowhere.
Sure.
So you can stay at a nice resort. Also, then you have garages, and I'm guessing there'll be like a central area set up essentially
Absolutely.
like a country club.
Yeah. So for all of our 500 members, because the memberships are going to be limited to be able to like run this track operationally, safely. So basically, everybody who's a member gets the opportunity to own their own lot. There's 254 lots available, some on track, some off track. And most people are using them for multi-car garage storage, for entertainment purposes, but also for commercial use for, offices. I mean, there's going to be a whole lot of businesses that pop up around this track as well.
So it's sort of like the luxury box that a corporation might
Absolutely.
buy in
How
a stadium.
cool would that be?
There's nothing really like this, I think, for motorsports,
No,
for
much
people
better
to entertain
if you're trying to
engage.
entertain the Japanese clients. who
Hockey
come in
game
town,
or
a hockey
racing?
game or racing. That's my point. And so you guys are in in the future. You guys are going to open the beginning of the year.
Well, we're
Right.
we're going to be opening fall of this year, so we're going to have our members on
Oh,
the track
fall this year?
by the end of the year.
Give us the big picture time frame. From,
Sure.
You started this project when, and taking it to 2012 when the track will be fully opened, I assume, and some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but essentially this project has been something that's been underway and been developed for a number of years now. Obviously, you can understand something of this scale doesn't just happen overnight. So getting all the necessary entitlements and funding in place were the things that we needed to focus on first and foremost.
Starts with a dream.
I just
It
keep
does,
thinking,
yeah.
bulldozer, tar machine, and some gravel.
No,
we're up
it's
for
like
racing.
any grassroots effort. A lot of rich white guys with a dream.
To build a
dream
racetrack
to go fast.
in Palm Springs.
And no,
Outside
like,
of
it's
Palm
really and to bring your family, because I just got the crap today because I'm already getting excited about going down to Laguna Seca and Monterey, and I'm doing the historic races. And my wife said I have twins that are going to be 5.
Take him to the racetrack, Adam.
Yeah, my wife gave me he's going to be old enough that you're going to, and, 'cause next year, he's going with you. And then you think, him with me is great, except for then the wife's got to come, because otherwise I can't. He's not riding shotgun on that track.
Solution. So we have the karting track here.
Ooh,
So
the karting track.
You've got to start them young, breed
Sure.
the interest, and then obviously you send the ladies
That
here.
might be good for us. Safe, slow.
The karting track. Yeah. Well, I didn't know you were going to have a karting track.
Yeah, and that's going to be open to the public
those
as well.
kids.
Yeah.
That's the good part about the karting track is, for my son, is he's going to be able to go on the karting track. The bad part is the drive back to L.A. when I was going, we had something called a shopping cart, okay? That's about the only cart we had. I'll tell you that right now. And no such thing as executive motorsports and these highfalutin clubs. Don't get used to this, by the way.
That jet, that's not for you.
Yeah, that's not for you. That's
You'll be
for
taking
Daddy.
the train down to...
Right. So I know you guys have a alliance with the PGA.
That's correct.
Tour.
Yeah, so everybody who buys a membership at Thermal also gets a PGA West Premier Sports package within their membership commitment. So that's access to the 5 courses of the PGA West, all the tennis courts, and the amazing clubhouse facilities.
I feel like the traction would be weak on a lot of those
Yeah,
courses.
getting our cars up
Getting
on
all
that hill.
sideways.
Sand
And once you
pit?
hit the greens, it
Sand
pretty
pit?
much tear it up. You're
Yeah, we have to be very specific that the two don't go hand in hand at the
okay.
same
Okay, I
time.
was
and
confused.
you
I was
know,
confused.
no, easily done. But
Let me just say this, and this is a compliment. This is why the terrorists hate us.
I was going to feed you that in a second. You beat me to it.
The cars, the whole thing. They got desert. Where's their track? Where's their championship golf course?
Littered
Where's their
with
buffet?
landmines and
Landmines
oil
and-
wells
and
that we're using the oil of.
Burnt out Toyota Land Cruisers.
Something upside
That's
down
right.
and smoking.
Camels walking in a circle looking for a place to die. And look at us. This is the beauty. See, this is beauty. You're from Van Nuys. I'm from North Hollywood. Emma's from somewhere in the UK. But look at us. We all joined forces to work as one. Not a bunch of tribes that are fighting to build
racing,
better race course. Part of the track, enough of the track is going to open up toward the end of the year.
Yeah, phase one, which if you can see this diagram, which is everything from here down, is going to be open. We're hoping by the end of the year, members on track at the end of the year. And then phase two, in the subsequent 12 months, is going to be the remainder of the track. And then also the clubhouse and the timing tower and all the kind of support buildings that go along with a structure just such as this. And
fire and safety, you know, that's phase 1 or 2. I'm
hoping to get a gig here as a flagman and a couple. Like, I just see me about 20 years standing there holding a flag and nipping off a flag.
With that food that was in your tooth earlier, you got a shoe in. I guarantee you that. You need that tooth to decay and be removed.
All right. That's why you don't eat salads.
I mean, our graded lots will be available in phase 1 too in this area here because, you know, the guys want to get in here and start putting their cars in and building their homes.
Leaving them here and working on them here and then going back home?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a kind of turnkey solution. You come in, your car's here, it's in the garage, you've got your race shop, your restoration, everything's here on site to make you
dragging the cars around is kind of a bummer. Loading them and unloading them is fine. Loading them to go home is it's like packing up camping gear. Somehow putting it in the car is fun. Laying it out on the campsite's good, but packing it up to go home.
It's dirty. It's hot.
It's an emotional.
Wiped out. You've probably not won the race.
Yeah,
more than likely.
You got to factor in my 4-beer buzz after I get off the track and just collapse into a heap.
I'm putting this into perspective. The last 12 times that we've been out, I'm loading the car.
I'm too drunk to load.
I'm the guy pulling the undercar shimmy.
Through my fire suit. I've had a couple of beers.
We won't need a Sandy. We'll take care of everything for you.
You saved the little man from having to do a lot of work. I applaud you.
I do as well. So second phase of the tour, I think, is we're going to go out and take a look at one of the Aston Martins that I just saw.
Yeah, we have the new Rapide, kindly lent to us by Desert European.
Desert European? Let's do that fine automobile.
A fine automobile.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to drive it over here, and it's actually, I have a DB9, you have the DB7 GT. Drives the same as my DB9. It just has two seats
added to the back.
In the back, yeah.
Extra, 20 horsepower? Was that 470?
I don't know. I got 450. I don't know if they tweaked it up to 470 or not.
They have to because, you know, every year they have to raise something. It's the same motor, so they have to give you, you know. We'll check the specs on that. But I'm going to guess it's got to be in the 470 by now.
I'll tell you, 2 sales pitches that if the folks from Aston Martin are watching should probably
send a couple of those out. And
then send a couple out. But, you know, the 2 back seats, don't do the, hey, man, put your kids in. We didn't get the car for the kids.
Yeah.
Put a couple of your golfing buddies, your track buddies. Put them in the back. Put a couple of hookers in the back. But that's not with the kids stuff already.
Yeah.
I got the sports car. That's so I can throw the kids in the back. And then the other, like I said, when I got mine, the guy said, I said, what's this engine? He said, oh, it's a V12. It's like, basically, it's 2.4 Duratec. Wait, which one was it?
I think they're Duratecs or something like that, that they re-enginered and had some Lotus heads.
Ford V6 Duratec stuck together. I said, that's awesome. I got an engine.
Cosworth, somebody did the heads, you know.
I'm just saying, leave Ford out of the equation. Focus on Aston Martin, if in your Aston Martin. All right, so the car's out there. Emma, how much do you know about the car?
Not enough.
You know that you'd have one, though, right?
I would have one, for sure.
Then you know enough to drive it.
All right, well, let's go talk about it.